Welcome, reading one. First of all, your angel number is 1155, and my phone was at 66%. It was kind of a fucking trip, too, because it was like my phone said 1154, and I was like, oh, that's cute. That's the number 11. And then I looked at my phone, and it was at 65%. And I'm like, oh, that's 11. So, like 1111. And then my phone's on the charger, and then it went up to 66%, and then the time changed. So, you guys are some powerful MFers. Like, ooh, and I looked down, it was 28 seconds. So if that means anything to you, either it might be your birthday, it might be the age you are, it might be a lucky number for you. Whatever it is, I just got this. Also, my phone, it's saying 43 minutes and 56 seconds. So I feel like because it's got the semicolon in between, I feel like it's 43 and then 56. So those could be ages or numbers for you, or it also could be 43 is 7. It could be a life path number, and 56 is 11. But either way, you guys, like, I just got a lot of like powerful energy from you, like really powerful. Um, kind of dark side powerful also. Like, I feel like for some of you, you're struggling with your spiritual practice because now this isn't going to be for everybody. Okay, I haven't even pulled the cards out. I'm just doing straight channeling. Okay, so what I'm getting from spirit is that some of you are in the dark night of the soul, or you're in some form of it, the beginning, the middle, or the end. And spirit saying it's okay, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, but you're trying to fight it. And it's either that you're somebody that tends to run on the dark side, so you're like trying to you're like, you're watching all these affirmation things, videos, or motivational things, and you're like, I'm trying to be positive, right? But sometimes it's hard to be positive when we're in a negative state, or we feel like our state is negative. If we feel like everything around us is just like, can't be healed. Oh, and I looked down, it was 156. So 56 is coming up. So you must see that a lot. I just feel like you guys are seeing numbers all the time. Feel free to comment below. Yeah. And also, if you're new here, if you just found this, like, welcome. I'm the magical medium, and I have never done this where I have the links be separate. I used to just do, like, the reading for the tribe, and then I would have links below or timestamps or something. But things are really changing and evolving. And I think they wanted me to have the beginning where you pick your reading separate, even because, like, some people are meant to see that and hear those messages, and some people are just going to stumble upon this reading, and it's going to just look like a reading, you know what I mean, instead of like, this is reading one, native spirit. We are working with the waning gibbous energy of reflect and release. So if you are new and this just stumbled onto your path, you'll kind of get the groove of it. I change as the wind blows because I really am a true medium, and I work, spirit works through me, and we work through things kind of quickly. Our tribe, if you've made your way here, it's almost like saying, like, wherever you were, you've graduated, or maybe you're someone who's already very in touch, or are working, medium as well, and just today is like you needed a little, pick me up, or a little reminder of how powerful you are, whatever it is. But either way, 319 and then 320, I'm feeling like you guys see things with angel numbers, or you see numbers all the time. But for some of you, they just don't want you to fight the darkness anymore. The sooner you let the darkness in, like, even because it's almost like with the native the native spirit deck, like, they didn't want me to shine the light on it right away, and now they just have me move the box. But do you see this beautiful hawk, like, flying right here? It's like, this is spirit and this is you. I mean, I almost feel like you want to take a screenshot of it and, like, just look at the way the light is bouncing off of that. Oh, that was the other thing too. Thank you, Spirit. I almost forgot. I almost forgot because it blends in so well. So, I picked this up on one of my hikes, and if you're interested, I have another channel called, look at that. Do you see? It looks like a fucking demon, man. Oh, but it also looks like a bird. It looks like a lot of different things. So, I went on a hike with some fellow light workers up to Merhut Falls, and it's on the Olympic Peninsula. And I was really drawn to pick this up. It's on my other channel called Lula's Life, and there's a link to it on this page, so you'll find it. Anyway, but I did a hike going up to the falls, and I found this piece, and I was actually going to bring it home and wash it up and, make it look really nice, and they're like, no, like, leave the bits and pieces in the dirt. Like, so this is for you to scry. You may see something completely different, because now I'm starting to see, like, a mouth here and an eye here, and, like, so it's, but it was just a powerful piece. And I was like, wow, you guys are old healers. You're scryers. you're probably like me, you see everything in numbers and like that, right? Like I was just walking and looked down and I saw that. But it's like there's all different imagery if you're looking at it, because now it almost looks like a mountain, a sad face. It can look like a lot of things. Also, here's the other side. That kind of looks like a dragon, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of oh, Atreyu. Why can't I think of it? It'll come to me. But anyway, so this was for you. They had me bring this in, and maybe it's for you to, remember your scrying abilities. For whatever reason, it was meant to be brought in today. So, also, I have two things of amethyst. I have a light amethyst here, right? A violet amethyst, as they call it, or whatever. I have this piece here, and then I have this big bad boy, which was like I've almost forgot about it. It was somewhere else for a long time, and I almost forgot about it, and then I cleaned it up, and I was like, oh yeah, because something needed some deep healing, and now it's here. And also, there's a lot of stones and crystals that wanted to come in. Oh, that one's going to go later. They said not right now. Oh my gosh, do you see that? Like where they had me put it? Oh my gosh. Also, I'll have to find out from Zoe, but these were actually gifted to my husband and I. Our sister, which Zoe, was in Hawaii on the Big Island, and she found this feather and was drawn to bring it to us as a gift. And I forget the name of the bird. I want to say oro or something. If you know the bird, please, please, please put a link below so that other people can look it up, because they really wanted to come in. And then this is, I forget the name of, or this one might be the oro. It's the only hawk on the Hawaiian Islands, or at least on the Big Island, as far as I know. And it's very, very, very rare to find it. And she gave it to us as a gift. And the fact that she didn't keep it herself was like so overwhelming to me. And that's a whole other story in itself. But anyway, so hawk medicine. And if you want to look up Hawaiian hawk for the specific medicine from that particular hawk, I feel like it was meant to come in. And it wasn't like the cliche of the native spirit deck. It was like they really wanted to come in. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you guys had some, but I feel like also some of you are just really tired. You've been doing this a long time, right? You're just like, when is it going to end? When's it my turn, right? I used to sing that song and like cry like hysterically from The Little Mermaid. When she's just like, wouldn't I love to explore those shores up above? And I was just like, the same for me. And it's almost seemed like every time I take 2 steps forward, I was taking 2 steps back. And I'm like, what in the world, But, 7:57. Oh, and I saw an airplane, like literally. So I feel like for some of you, it's time for you to, and the feathers. I mean, we're in Aquarius energy still right now. Pisces isn't, and whenever you watch this, it's timeless, of course. But when in real time, and this reading is taking place, feathers are a symbol of air. So you either are an air sign, or you're dealing with an air sign, or, when I looked down, it was 818, which I also know is an area code in Los Angeles. That's so crazy. So if any of those, I just channel whatever comes through. I'm channeling, but I'm also going to pull some cards. And also, can I just say how beautiful you guys are inside and out, and how you put this beautiful altar together? I channel your energy to build your altar. So this is it's just really gorgeous. Thank you so much. Okay, these two like almost stuck together. So because they're like that, I'm going to turn this around so that we can actually use. And Anna, one of our other tribe members, thank you, Anna. She donated this beautiful holder, and it's got the moons on it. Isn't that lovely? But we've got things here. Okay, so they can hold the cards. Beautiful. And I have to tell you, my friends, I have a feeling that this is it. Like, I feel like this is your reading. So you may want to, this is, and at the bottom, it was the Spirit Keeper of the South. So don't know if this means anything to anybody, but it's on the bottom. If it comes out again, then I will absolutely, read it. But as of right now, also my eyes went to the Dark Mirror as I was preparing to get your Native Spirit reading, or the book. And I feel like for some of you, you were looking at 2, and I'm hearing yes. Some of you were looking at 2, and some of you were looking at 4, Dark Mirror and the Unicorns. And if that was really pulling to you, yes, there's some medicine in there for you, okay? You may have even already watched it, but yes, it's just a clarifier that you're on the right track, okay? So our first one is, oh, Spirit Keeper of the West. Interesting that the South was, okay, so right away I felt like they were saying like maybe you're in the South and you need to go to the West. You know what I'm saying? The fact that that was the first one that came out was the Spirit Keeper of the South. But also, it could be that it's time for you to work with Archangel Michael, because Archangel, and he's a good healer, or even Raphael. Raphael is the Archangel of the East of air. We were just talking about air, and amethyst is the number one healing crystal. I was gonna say on the market, but that sounds so silly. But out there. Oh, look at that. When I changed, they had me change that. Look at that. Look at this vast, expansive. I don't even know if we're going to read the book, you guys. I feel like some of you already know what this card means. You know what I mean? I feel like some of you are like, okay, I get it. But the fact that I saw a 757, and which could absolutely be an angel number if it pinched you that way, absolutely. And your little spiritual butt, somebody pinched you in the butt and the mind and the soul, then that's for you to look up. Blessed be Aho, right? So just put in any search engine that you work with and you put that in, okay? And yeah, but I just kind of feel like the South and the West, and it could even be for some of you that it's the Southwest, right? Because that just came to me too. So keeper of the South. So it could be that they're trying to get you to go south, and it could just be that they're trying to get you to go west. I mean, look at the trees and that mountain. Now when I saw the trees and the colors and everything right here, I actually felt New England or like the East Coast. So it could even be well, that wouldn't make sense because, I mean, oh, unless you're in Europe or somewhere, unless you're somewhere, yeah, we have North and South. We have Northern and Southern Hemisphere in this tribe, you guys, which is really, really cool. It just means our push pins and the and the planet of Earth, are like we're there's so many of us out there and different places, and we're all coming together. It's so powerful. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter where you are, it's like so. Interesting. Okay, so Spirit Keeper of the West. So that's one message. And now I feel like we're meant to pull this one. So we have Ancient Forest. Yes. What did I say? I said, you guys are old, man. Like I felt your ancient energy. And I'm also feeling, remember when I was saying, if you watch the beginning of this, when we did it for the tribe, I said I felt like there was like a darkness, which obviously the dark mirror, so this was reading 2. We haven't done it yet, but we're going to be doing this reading, right? As of right now, it hasn't been done yet. So it's interesting because I was just going to move the camera and they said no. So I feel like this is, you remember we were talking about the dark night of the soul? I feel like you guys are there. Like that's the ancient forest is the dark night of the soul. And Spirit is saying like, use this old medicine, this bird medicine, reach out to the indigenous energies to get you through it, right? The ancestors. Let me see if they want us to pull any more cards, because I'm like, sometimes I get the vibe they want us to, and then sometimes I don't. And this is a very ambiguous where I'm like, I feel like this can go in a lot of different directions. Let me just make, okay, yeah, this one was like glued to my fingers practically. Okay, so we got the Spirit of Earth. Wow. And interesting, okay, so here we go. Interesting, okay. So we've got the Spirit of Earth, but look at how we have a sun. I almost feel as if, you know how they say the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? I kind of feel like that's where you guys are. It's almost as if, and it's interesting to me because this feels more like a sunrise, and that feels more like a sunset to me, right? So like, what does it mean to you? I'm actually going to go a little bit darker so you can see. I don't know, that's about as dark as they're going to let me go because they want you to see it. They want the way they want you to see it. Now, that's an ancient forest, right? Like that little straggle of the A sticking out reminds you, right? That's the ancient forest. And I feel like you're in the dark night of the soul and you're stuck somewhere between, your spirit and how much you love the earth and being here. And then like the other part of you, the spirit keeper, because, in folklore, they say that the west is where spirit lies, right? Because that's where the sun sets. That's where, it ends and then it begins a new day in the east. So I feel like it's interesting that the west is first and then the darkness of the ancient forest is in the middle. But it's not total dark, right? There's not just that the candle's shining on it, but you can see from the photograph of the ancient forest that it's actually, there's light filtering in. And that's because of the spirit of earth. Because deep down, no matter how angry you get or what happens or whatever, you love people. And you love people. And there's nothing wrong with loving people. Like that's like the thing I'm getting from spirit is like, there's nothing wrong with loving people. But you still, oh, thank you. They're so funny. But they said, but also mind like the fact that on either side of that forest is spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you're at the beginning and the end. It's like you're going to end up here no matter what. You are the salt of the earth. You are a healer. You are a light worker, right? But like, and maybe you were this before, where you were just like this light, bright, kind of like the West Coast, easygoing. If you do anything, people always talk about how the West Coast, especially Southern California, right? The beach, they talk about the beach girls or whatever. I wish every girl can be like a California girl, right? Like, because they were super chill and they live by the beach and they're like, hey, or like, by water, Hawaii, they're like a mahalo, like, what's up, man? Like, let's go fucking hang out. Let's surf, Ohana, right? Like, everything's like chill. But like, you get landlocked, like where I grew up in the Midwest, it's like that shit is like, you go those places for vacation, but you don't live there, right? But it's like, well, somebody lives there. You know what I mean? Like, somebody lives there. So it could even be that like maybe the West is calling to you, or you've been the spirit keeper of the West and now you're meant to go somewhere else. I mean, I just think it's interesting that like the West is first, because in my mind I think of, when you look at, it's like north, south, east, and west. We always think of kind of like West is like the end in like what we've been taught and told, right? But it could even be that, you started in the West, and then you're making your way towards, another place. I mean, I don't know, it's different for everybody, but that's definitely for somebody, because it's come up like, a few times now. So let's see if they want us to read from the book. Do we want to read from the book for any of these cards? Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. And I just want to see 4356. I'm like, they just keep telling me that too. Like that keeps coming up. 4356, 40. So it could be an angel number, or like I said, it could be 43 and then 56, or maybe it's adding them all together. If we added them together, that would be 18. And if you add that together, it's number 9. So it could also be for you guys, like you're so close to it. And it just feels like, and maybe for some of you, you want to move west and you're like, I just feel like I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. And they're like, you are going to get there, but you have to get through this first. And look at that, how the card illuminated too. To remember that remember your light and your illumination. And also, we can't heal where we hurt. So if you keep trying to, like, you're like, I've been at this forever and nothing's working. Well, if nothing's working, that's because, either it's not time, and that's for you to decipher, in meditation with spirit, because this is a mass reading. Or it could just be, that it's just you're going in the wrong direction and they're sending you signs, or they're trying to tell you certain things. Also, I feel like they want to show that A and F. So I don't know if those are initials. I just heard Anne Frank. That's so interesting. And I'm all jittery, like my legs are jittery. All I've had today is water. Like my body doesn't normally jitter like this. So I feel like for some of you, like maybe getting out into the forest, and maybe the initials are for you, one or both, it's like to tell you to like get out into wilderness. This is like a wilderness, right? In a mountain, a forest. I mean, I know it's the native spirit deck. I get it. But like there are other cards in here that aren't, let me see. I'm trying to like give you an example. They all have nature on them, yes, but they have like animals too. You know what I mean? Like you didn't get any animals. You didn't, there's the medicine bag there. You know what I mean? I could go on and on and on, but it's like, I feel like these are like strictly nature based. And for some of you, you live, in the Southwest, right? Where it's like rugged and looks like this, but maybe you want to be in somewhere lush like this or like this. And they're saying, well, then go to where your heart is. When I was hiking recently with some of my spirit family, I was like, man, I just really love this area. I love this area. And I said, now I just have to decipher, like, do I just love this area, or do I just like to travel to this area to hike? And maybe it's the same for you. It could even be like you like where you live. Like maybe you like living in the desert, but like you want to be closer. There's mountains in the desert. There's other like forms of, You know what I mean? Like really researching, like maybe you like the part of the country or the world that you live in, but you're not really happy with that particular location. It's like, well, there's many other locations and many other places, you know? So look at it like that, you know, to give yourself, um, you know, and meditate on it. I'm hearing from Spirit, meditate on it. Any more messages, Spirit? I kind of feel like that's it. So I feel like for the release and reflect is, you know, kind of like insert those words into your situation and apply them, you know what I mean, to everything that you're going through. Because I feel like for this group, you know, there's only 4 readings. And even though people, you know, it's like as of, you know, today, I think there was 470 something subscribers. However, I got the report from last month and I was like, holy shit. But like 22,000 people, you know, like I had more stuff watched over the last like few months than I have ever. But if they're in incognito, it doesn't show up. But they tell me even from the incognito, but it might not show up. Like I might look at it, it says 36 views or 5 likes or something like that. But there could have been like, you know, 5,000. So, you know what I mean? It's just that people, if they're incognito, they're incognito. At least that's what I understood from the report and the things that I researched. So that was really interesting to me because I'm like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? I'm like, how is that possible for me to get that video? It's like, but I can feel it. I can feel the energy, especially with the shorts. Most of the traffic is coming from the shorts. But even then, it's really powerful. Do you know what I mean? So, you never know like what's happening under the surface, or, you know, there could be people that are just waiting to come forward and, you know, because I feel like for some of you, you feel like you're in the dark, but a lot of it's self-created. Like the darkness that you're in is literally self created. You are in the darkness because you won't allow yourself to be and live in the light. So as soon as you illuminate that, like look at the sun's coming out. Do you see how it's getting brighter on the screen? I could tell. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, because it's against the window, so I can see it. And the sun is coming out, and Spirit's saying, like, allow the sun to shine into those dark spots, right? Like, allow it to come in, allow it to be there, and go into nature. I was having a really, really rough several days, and then it's like I went hiking up on this waterfall. It's like really magical, and man, it was like after that I felt like I could conquer the world, like for real. I was like, I felt like a different person. Now that was already 2 days ago, and I'm feeling a little depleted, and I'm like, that's why, because nature is our best friend. And if you're someone who lives in the city, it's like, then find the nearest park just so you can sit by grass and trees, and you know what I mean. You know, moving water is better than stagnant water, but you know, whatever works for you and whatever's close to you, it's like, you know, if you're feeling a pull to water, then go to the water. Sometimes it's nice to just sit in the bathtub, you know, while the water is coming in, and just going in a water meditation and watching the water flow in, and then like feeling that bath, like feeling the warmth like overtake you. It's a very medicinal experience. I've done that before, where I just kind of like wanted to feel like the hot water rising on my body. Like I just felt like I just got super stoned, and I lit candles all around, and I sat in the bathtub, and I just watched the water like going in, the clean water going in. And then, like, you know, at the end, like pulling the plug and watching all of my pain and my suffering, releasing all of it, right? Because this is about reflection and release. So look back on from the time when this new moon started in Aquarius 2023, because they're timeless, right? But look at from that until now. What do you need to release? What isn't working for you? What intention did you set at the beginning of this moon and it still hasn't worked yet? If you haven't even gotten a glimmer of a sign, it might just be that it's not time yet, and you can try again next month or try again in a few months, like whatever feels good. You know, but also don't let it completely deflate your balloon, because, you know, we're in a certain path for a reason, and if we try to move faster than we're supposed to go, you know, things are not going to go well. And also they wanted me to show you, I was going to try and fix this earlier and like do this so that it was like perfect. And they were like, no, they wanted you to remember to always leave a crack in your heart, your mind, and your soul, even when you're in the dark, even when you're going through stuff, even when it feels like the roughest and you can't get through it. They're saying, leave that little light open to allow the light to come in so that spirit can fill your hole of, I'm sorry, I'm channeling and I can't, maybe we were supposed to break it up. But it's like, but you know what I mean? I meant to say the hole in your heart, but I got this like visual of like Beavis and Butthead going, haha, she said hole. And I'm like, I cannot not see it too. So maybe they were just trying to like just lighten up, you know, because I feel like for some of you, like it's dark as fuck and you're just like not letting the light in. And they're like, you know what? Watch something that makes you laugh. I was going through the darkest time and my sister, which was here, and we belly laughed so hard, like we had like tears flying out of her face where we were both like, my stomach hurts, my stomach hurts. And I was like afterwards, I'm like, thank you for holding the space for me, this was a rough weekend. And I was just like, but man, I haven't laughed that hard and I don't even know how long, right? You know, so go have a belly laugh with a friend or somebody that you trust, someone that makes you laugh so hard, right? In all the good ways. Like but yeah, I mean, spiritually, let them fill the hole in your heart, because that hole is left there from third dimensional experiences, trauma. I can go on and on and on and on, right? So you're looking to live and be in the light of spirit. And if you want to do that, then you have to live and be in the light of spirit. You hear me? You feel me? So work with the darkness, let it come in, but then you got to push it back out. And I'm with you, wayward warriors. I am with you because I go through it myself. And every time, and also I'm hearing when something isn't going your way or something is really rough, Spirit saying, do not feed it. Walk away. If you're a fire sign especially, or someone that fans your fire that like makes it even worse than it was when it started, do you know what I'm saying? Those people, it's like, don't take that time to walk away. And I don't care if you have to take notes. I've been going through something like that recently where I'm like, you know what, before I have this conversation with this person, I'm actually going to write things out so that I can bring it with me, because they have a tendency to pull me off of my topic and my purpose. And gaslighters and narcissists will do that because you cannot tell them anything negative or dark about themselves. And we all have a little bit of narcissism in us, right? Like it was literally embedded in us from if you were born on this earth in third dimensional energy. And I'm not saying everyone, I mean, Sadhguru, I'm sure he doesn't, I don't know, and I can't speak for everybody, but you know what I mean? It's like we all have that kind of survival instinct of me, what about me? But there's a limit, right? There's a limit. And so I'm feeling like for some of you, you may be dealing with these gaslighters, love bombers, whatever is happening, these titles that have been flying around, but they're appropriate, right? They're apropos because they're true. It's like we're putting like an energy to a behavior. Some people are putting labels on it, but it's really just putting the energy to the behavior. But it's better to actually, if you need to talk to somebody, be like, can we please speak, you write down what you want to say, the points, and I'll write down, and then let's get together in a very neutral zone and in a place. And sometimes it is good to like meet in a coffee shop or somewhere where like, you'll stay, grounded. You're not at one or the other's house or whatever, or maybe even being in nature. Maybe for some of you, you need to have this talk or this discussion with somebody in nature, because this definitely feels like this is for someone. And so, or someone's. So yeah, and I'm getting, my eyes keep going to that AF again too. So I don't know what that means, but interesting, because I'm like, as fuck, you know what I mean? When someone's like, that is, I am chill as fuck, or I am happy as fuck. So it could even be that, like put in your emotion there, like that, what you're dealing with in this ancient forest while you're going through the dark night of the soul. But you guys are really powerful. Also, this is the first time when I looked at this looked like a house. So I feel like a cabin in the woods or something, but deep in the woods. I don't know what that means. So anyway, those are your messages. I hope they helped you in any way. All of my information is all over this channel and on Lula's Life. I will see you the next time. Take really good care of yourselves and each other, okay? Blessed be. Oh.